It's what powers our journey to reach unimaginable heights. It fosters a sense of yearning to create, explore, and soar. It strengthens our will to climb to the top. It's the bedrock of our conviction that nothing's impossible. It transforms us and sets us free to thrive and build lives of purpose. Titan Pride is at the heart of who we are.
Welcome to Cal State Fullerton's 2014 Convocation. My name is Jose Luis Cruz, and I have the distinct privilege of serving as this institution's Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs. Today, I am honored to introduce our President, Dr. Mildred García. But first, a few words on the current state of affairs of higher education in America. It's been more than 8 years since, under President Bush, Secretary of Education Margaret Spelling's Commission on the Future of Higher Education called on policymakers to address the needs of higher education in order to maintain social mobility and a high standard of living. It's been more than 6 years since President Barack Obama publicly challenged the nation to once again lead the world in educational attainment as a means to improve economic competitiveness. The results today are not good. Persistently low degree completion rates, particularly among low-income students, continue to limit social mobility. By age 24, young people from families in the bottom income quartile are 7 times less likely than those from families in the highest income quartile to obtain a bachelor's degree. And while educational attainment levels have barely budged, student loan debt has skyrocketed past the $1 trillion mark, outpacing credit card and auto debt. Clearly, the only way our nation can once again lead the world in educational attainment and fulfill its twin promises of opportunity and social mobility is if large, diverse public institutions such as Cal State Fullerton lead the way. President Garcia understands this. She understands that the stakes are high for the country, for our state, and for our nation. And she acknowledges that our institution has a social responsibility, a special responsibility, in helping to turn things around, and that we do have a track record of getting the job done. The best example of this track record is the fact that in less than 6 decades, this institution has transformed itself from 240 acres of orange groves into one of the largest, most diverse institutions in the country. That is why President Garcia has worked tirelessly during the past year to sharpen our institution's focus and help accelerate our efforts to fulfill our vision of becoming a model public comprehensive university nationally recognized for exceptional programs that prepare our diverse student body for academic and professional success. She has done this by leading and supporting the numerous task forces, work groups, and committees across campus that are working collaboratively to improve the quality of our curricular and co-curricular programs, increase student completion rates and narrow achievement gaps, recruit and retain high-quality faculty and staff, and diversify our revenue streams. She has also worked hard to ensure that Cal State Fullerton's values, perspectives, and promising practices help shape the national conversation on educational attainment and social mobility. She has done this through her service on President Obama's Advisory Commission on Educational Excellence for Hispanics, her role as chair of the Board of Directors of the Association of American Colleges and Universities, her participation on the Board of Directors of the American Association of State Colleges and Universities, her contributions to the Executive Committee of the Coalition of Urban and Metropolitan Universities, her membership in the National Advisory Panel of the National Institute for Learning Outcomes Assessment, and her service on the Board of Directors of the Association of Public and Land-Grant Universities. Yes, it has been a year of hard work, but President Garcia is the first to acknowledge that much work remains. Per tradition, today's convocation address will review the year that was and frame the year that will be. Please join me in welcoming to this podium Cal State Fullerton's president, Dr. Mildred García.
Good morning. Good morning. Buenos dias. Happy new academic year. Before I get into the heart of my remarks, I'd like to acknowledge and welcome the many special guests joining us here this morning as we celebrate the beginning of our new 2014-15 academic year. Let's begin by welcoming the chair of our philanthropic board, Julie Miller-Phipps, Senior Vice President and Executive Director of Kaiser Permanente, and she is joined by fellow board members. Thank you for being here. In addition, we want to welcome back our alumni, represented by the president of our Alumni Association, Dorisa Martinez, and several Alumni Association board members. Let's welcome our alumni back home. One year ago, with the support of our strategic plan's third goal to recruit and retain a high quality and diverse faculty and staff, I stood on this stage and said, upon the recommendation of the chairs, deans, and the provost, I have authorized the hiring of 133 tenure-track faculty members in the next 2 years. Today, I am proud to welcome 62 of those new tenure-track faculty members, an outstanding group of highly accomplished and respected scholars whose diversity of ethnicity, thought, background, and research reflects the ever-evolving students we aspire to serve. At this time, I would like to ask this group to stand so the rest of us can give you a true Titan welcome. Please stand. Please note that they have a special name tag. During the reception, please walk up to them and introduce yourselves to them and embrace them into the Cal State Fullerton family. I would also like to welcome our newest staff members, those who are at their very first fall convocation. To our staff members, please stand and let us acknowledge you. In addition, I want to recognize Sean Walker, Chair of the Academic Senate, Harpreet Bath, President of Associated Students, Bob Mead, Chair of Planning, Resource, and Budget Committee. Please stand and let us welcome you. Finally, I want to welcome and congratulate Kelsey Brewer, member of the CSU Board of Trustees, and our very own student. While we know that as a board member, she is concerned about the entire CSU, we know that Kelsey is a true Titan and will be a strong voice for Cal State Fullerton students, as well as understanding all of the solutions and challenges we have as the largest CSU in the system. Kelsey, congratulations, where are you? A few weeks ago, a USA reporter noted that I am one of only a handful of Latina college presidents in the country, and asked me, and I quote, what I had to do to negotiate to reach the pinnacle of academia. While I appreciated the question, I did challenge the reporter on defining a university president as the pinnacle of academia. What I do as president is not more or less important than what our faculty do in the classrooms, in the field, and in the labs. what our staff and administrators do to build our nationally recognized student success programs, what our campus police do, ensuring our safety, what our groundkeepers do to provide us with a clean, beautiful place to live, work, and study, and what our students do to capitalize on the opportunity they earned when they were accepted into this institution. It is what we do together, collaboratively focused on our students' mission and vision to become the model comprehensive university of the nation, recognized for the exceptional programs that prepare our diverse student body for academic, professional, and social success. That's what makes us successful and unique. You've heard me say it, but it is important we remember it, particularly at the beginning of a new academic year. So I take this opportunity to say it again. We are all educators. We are all life changers. And it is only by standing and working together, intentionally focused on what we set out as our goals, that each of us, regardless of our division, position, or job description, that we become together a university striving towards reaching the true pinnacle of academia. This work together is what is lifting Cal State Fullerton even higher to our quest to become that model comprehensive university of the nation. Every few weeks, I host small group faculty meetings in my office to talk with them, understand what they're doing, outstanding faculty members, where I learn about their passion and discuss their challenges in and out of the classroom, and I give them 10 minutes to ask me any question they may want. If there's any one theme that emerges from these meetings, it is that our faculty, much like our outstanding staff and administrators, have the credentials, ability, and education to teach at any institution in the world, including private institutions, that by some account offer more prestige, higher salaries, and greater research opportunities than a public university can. Yet not only do they choose to be here, in many cases, they have left careers at so-called higher profile opportunities in universities to be with us. Why? Because they know their knowledge and expertise is more impactful here. They know that they can truly have a hand in transforming lives here. They know their efforts are game-changing, not just for our students, but for their families, their family legacies and neighborhoods, and their communities. In short, they understand that Cal State Fullerton is both the physical manifestation of the American dream and a springboard for others to attain it. And they know it is an honor to be a part of it. What we do is perhaps best articulated by Greek philosopher Nikos Kazantzakis. And he says, "True teachers are those who use themselves as bridges over which they invite their students to cross, then having facilitated their crossing, joyfully collapse, encouraging them to create their own." Today is the day we officially reopen the bridges over which we invite our students to cross. For me, it's an exciting time of the year because as educators, we know it is our Happy New Year. We watch our students coming back with goals and aspirations, new students coming in tentative yet excited, and all of us hopefully well-rested and rejuvenated after a wildly successful academic year. If you're anything like me, 3 months ago, after yet another transformational and successful commencement ceremony, where we graduated more than 10,000 students, you and I joyfully collapsed. My joyful collapse came in the form of becoming a student again and embarking on impactful journeys: Belfast, Israel, Vancouver. I was proud to represent the good work of all of you at Belfast in my presentation entitled Democratic Innovations in Inclusion Within Higher Education. An example of my learning came from experiencing and visiting Belfast, a part of the world that has had its challenges when it came to diversity and difference. a city that is now focused on reconciliation. And there I witnessed the university, Queen's University at Belfast, engaged in the work of its city, leading and educating students from different groups towards mutual understanding. Panels of students from different groups working together towards social justice. Students working collaboratively with teachers. K-12 students helping the teachers understand how to ask those survey questions so that young students would understand what they were asking. They then participated as interviewers alongside the teachers, and then helping them interpret what the teachers were sharing. While they didn't call it a high-impact practice, that's what it actually was. During my time there, the Queen visited Belfast, and she capsulized what I was observing. She stated that Belfast is representing for the world an example of overcoming differences. She continued by saying, and I quote, "I know there are many challenges ahead, and peacemaking is not always an easy task, but you have come this far by turning the impossible into the possible. And as you face the futures and difficulties that may appear insurmountable, always remember the thoughts and prayers of millions are with you. The world yearns for example of positive transformation and people overcoming differences. And I hope and believe Belfast will continue to be one such living example," unquote. To that end, our strategic communications team put together a short video that encapsulates many of our own triumphs over the past year and demonstrates how a community can come together focused on our strategic directions, how we are continually lifting an institution to demonstrate to the world how we educate and build a community of difference, and how our aspiration to reach higher in all that we do has served us well in progressing towards our goal to become that model comprehensive university of the nation. Let's take a moment to watch. amazing, wonderful video. Let's once again join me in thanking the Strategic Communications team for putting together this video alongside that slideshow we saw earlier. Thank you very much. Every time I see one of those inspirational short films about our titans, I am reminded of a truth someone recently pointed out to me about a few other films you have heard of. I'm sure you have. Stand and Deliver, starring Edward James Olmos, and The Freedom Writers, starring Hilary Swank. What this person intimated was that despite these major motion pictures being based on incredible true stories, the educators and students profiled in them are no more outstanding, no more inspiring, and no more deserving of national attention than many of the faculty, staff, and students right here at Cal State Fullerton. You are the sheroes and heroes who not only reach higher to achieve their own dreams, but also reach back to support others, aspiring others to follow in your footsteps. Heroes and sheroes who work in relative obscurity, content only with the bountiful rewards that go hand in hand with the transformative power of higher education. The bottom line is this: even without the fanfare that comes with a major motion picture, we are populated with A-list titans who led us yet to another blockbuster year. And it began with what we set out to do in this building from this stage exactly 1 year ago. So before we look forward, I'd like to spend a little more time reviewing what we set out to do at last year's convocation and underscore how, through our collective work, we achieved and exceeded many of our stated aspirations. Our underlying goal for 2013-14, as laid out in my convocation address last year, revolved around capitalizing on the game-changing momentum and collaborative spirit we created during the 6-month development of our strategic plan. That last statement may be, as the kids say nowadays, a humble brag, but it's not an exaggeration. In fact, many in our campus community have communicated to me that the unprecedented time frame in which we developed the strategic plan was a significant turning point in the pace at which the institution moves. From my perspective, in this ever-shifting landscape of higher education, the calls for performance funding and the rapidly changing demographics of the region we serve, the pace at which we move has never been more critical. One could even argue that the survival of our institution and its honorable legacy depends on it. But we here at Cal State Fullerton have vowed to not just survive, but to thrive, to not only accept and serve our students, but also admit the new majority, underrepresented and low-income students from all backgrounds, first-generation students from under-resourced schools, and we accept the moral responsibility to graduate them, to not only become that model comprehensive university for our 22 sister campuses, but for all comprehensive institutions across the nation. That is why I stood on this stage and called upon each of you to capitalize on the momentum sparked by the timely and collaborative development of our strategic plan, and ask that we, as a campus community, work to turn the document's written words into living, breathing manifestations of its 4 laudable goals. I am proud to announce that we have done exactly that, and even though most of you probably have the strategic plan's 4 goals committed to memory by now, I will reference them as I touch on just a few of the goals we set out to accomplish this past year. I say just a few because in the interest of time, there is no possible way to list all of our achievements. And our strategic planning website, along with our ongoing strategic planning town halls, do an excellent job of providing the campus community with our ongoing progress, success, and opportunities for your feedback. Let me also preface these achievements by thanking our 11 strategic task forces and all who've worked so collaboratively with them to ensure our short and long-term goals are on track. Thank you. Our first goal, to develop a curricular and co-curricular environment that prepares students for participation in a global society and is responsive to workforce needs. It seeks to solve several issues in our 2012 Western Association of Schools and Colleges Reaccreditation Report. We call it WASC, which, as most of you know, resulted in the institution receiving only a 7-year reaccreditation rather than the full 10. These issues include assessment of student learning, including general education and advising. In the area of advising, the solution is rooted in our strategic plans goals to ensure that at least 75% of our students participate in an advising system that integrates academic, career, and personal development components. Over the past year, we hired a diverse group of 9 new advisors to bolster our existing ranks, kicking off a 2-year campaign to hire additional new advisors. The impressive range of skills and expertise that these new titans possess is matched only by the analytical tools we are providing them and their colleagues with which to enhance the advising process. Tools like the truly groundbreaking Student Success Dashboard, coupled with our predictive analytics tool that we are piloting in the College of Health and Human Services. Created and innovated by a cross-divisional team between academic affairs and IT, after less than 4 months of development in spring 2013, the dashboard was piloted by a select group of faculty members and department chairs. The results achieved to date have been very impressive. Thanks to the interventions guided by the effective use of the Student Success Dashboard, more than 250 students that would otherwise have seen their graduation delayed were able to earn their degrees last year. The dashboard also allowed us to identify some graduation policies and practices that needed to be removed or changed because there were artificial barriers to the timely graduation of our students. The use of the tool has been so successful that we recently hired 9 graduation specialists whose main responsibility will be to use the tools to minimize the number of students whose graduation dates are unnecessarily deferred. Now stop and think about that for a minute. Picture your car speedometer moving up and down as you drive. And now imagine a speedometer that tracks the progress of first-time freshmen and upper division transfer students from their first day on campus to graduation. And you know that little red area on your speedometer that indicates your speed may be a little too excessive? I know I do. Well, our tools have that same kind of warning, one that makes advisors aware of profile changes that may be putting that student's graduation at risk. And instead of a speeding ticket, they get the support they need to get back on track. I know many of us wish the Highway Patrol practiced the same understanding with us. But in all seriousness, this is such a leap from previous advising strategies that someone put it this way. It is the difference between the Pony Express writer bringing the news and the news appearing on your iPad. The dashboard has been heralded as a national model by the Lumina Foundation and praised by the Chancellor's Office as a breakthrough that is well worth emulating system-wide. A year ago, I also called for demonstrated action in relation to our strategic plan's second goal, to improve student persistence, increase graduation rates university-wide, and narrow the achievement gap for underrepresented students. Because our efforts to increase student persistence begins before they even apply, our second goal is grounded by college readiness. And again, we did not disappoint. As most of you know, the CSU has implemented numerous initiatives to help students avoid developmental coursework and enter the CSU ready for college-level math and English. Over the past year, we aligned these initiatives into a holistic framework, an umbrella design that allows us to clearly and concisely advise students about the entire timeline of opportunities to demonstrate that they are college ready. Moreover, our college readiness website continued to evolve so that students, parents, and educators can assess their college preparation needs and easily assess all CSU college readiness components, such as the Early Assessment Program, which we call EAP, Early Start, and expository reading and writing curriculum. The success of these initiatives and others is evidenced by the increase of college math-ready students to 87.3% of our entering class. That's up more than 10 percentage points over the last 5 years. We also made great strides in Goals 2 objective to identify and expand programs that have a proven impact on increasing student achievement in bottleneck, gateway, and low success rate academic courses. A group of our faculty introduced and perfected supplemental instruction on our campus. Their work led to $480,000 baseline award last year from the Chancellor's Office that enabled us to scale and centralize the supplemental instruction efforts. Thus, because of the superb work of our faculty, the award allowed us to hire a full-time supplemental instruction coordinator, centralized it under the University Learning Center, and supported 224 course sections with supplemental instructions compared to 140 the previous year. The intentionality with which we are pursuing these efforts has again resulted in our emergence as a system-wide leader in this arena. Our faculty recently received nearly 30% of the $1.9 million distributed by the Chancellor's Office through a competitive RFP for course redesign efforts. That 30% figure becomes even more impressive when you stop to consider that our student body makes up less than 10% of the entire CSU population. And then there's the high impact practices, which we call HIPS. That component of our strategic plan's second goal, an area where we have been so successful in over the past year, that the Chancellor's Office asked us to be the system lead campus, specifically in the CSU HIPS initiative funded by Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, in which we will serve as faculty and staff mentors for our colleagues at our other 22 sister campuses. A year ago, the foundation was already set for more future success surrounding our third goal, to recruit and retain a high quality and diverse faculty and staff, and we see 62 of them before us. This, of course, was due to the 2013 creation of the university's first standalone division of human resources, diversity, and inclusion, the recruitment of the division's first vice president, and our stated and demonstrated aspiration to ensure our faculty and staff reflect our ever-evolving student body. Again, this past year, we did not waste the opportunity to continue to reach higher. This, of course, was due to the collaborative efforts of faculty search committees, the academic deans, and the division of we nicely call HRDI. This collaboration brought about a dramatic increase in overall diversity and the quality of our newly hired titans. So 62 faculty members, thank you for making us so successful, and all the faculty that really contributed to this. Thank you so much. So proud. And the results just in of the recent campus climate survey, the table is now set for even greater success in this arena, particularly with the development of our diversity action plan. Based on national standards, the participation rate of the campus climate survey was outstanding. 1,574 completed surveys, representing 37% of our faculty and staff. While 71% of respondents indicated they felt comfortable or very comfortable with our campus climate, 27% shared they had experienced exclusionary conduct and had experienced exclusionary, intimidating, offensive, and/or hostile conduct, and 7% indicated that they had experienced sexual harassment. Clearly, we have issues to deal with head-on. That is why I will establish a university-wide committee chaired by Vice President Gentles to carefully review the survey results, prepare a communication plan to inform our campus community about the findings, and develop recommendations to inform the creation of the diversity action plan mentioned in Goal 3 of our strategic plan. And finally, 1 year ago, I stated we would achieve success toward our fourth goal, to increase revenue through fundraising, entrepreneurial activities, grants, and contracts. Not only did we exceed our year-long aspiration in total gift commitments, we exceeded our 5-year goal. You heard me correctly. This past year, we surpassed our 5-year goal to increase total gift commitments from $7.3 million to at least $15 million in order to be in the top tier of our top third of our CSU peer group. Talk about reaching higher. At the close of the last fiscal year, we had over $16 million in total gift commitments. Further, over the same 2-year period, we have grown the endowment from $34 million to $50 million. When we achieve success like this, success that exceeds even our own ambitious goals, it is important to not only celebrate the work and the people that made it happen, but also re-raise the bar, reevaluate all of our other goals, and elevate our aspirations to meet our potential. To paraphrase Michelangelo, the danger lies not in setting our aim too high and falling short, but in setting our aim too low and achieving our mark. Therefore, I am honored to take this time to, in addition to those examples in the video cited just a few minutes ago, some more examples of how we achieved our marks over the past year. Not by aiming too low, but by reaching higher than what was previously thought possible. In the interest of time, because I could spend a lot of time on this, my remarks posted online will include further accomplishments by all of our colleges and divisions. I will only highlight just a few of those that did not appear in the video. So in addition to the 62 new faculty members, the supplemental instruction coordinator, and the 9 new advisors, we have bolstered our ranks with the appointment of many other qualified and diverse titans, including Mr. Danny Kim, Vice President for Administration and Finance and Chief Financial Officer, Dr. Cheryl Fontaine, Dean for the College of Humanities and Social Sciences, Dr. Sherry McMahon, Deputy Provost, and Dr. Marianne Villarreal, Director of University Initiatives and Special Projects. On the screen is a list of additional senior administrators who have taken on new responsibilities and are now our titans. The College of Communications, in partnership with the College of Modern Languages and Literature, developed a Latino Communication Initiative and a certificate program that prepares students for work in the growing Latino-focused media industry. Civil engineering students from our College of Engineering and Computer Science received first-place honors in the Structural Engineering Institute's national competition by designing the Freedom Tower, a high-rise building with a patriotic theme. Also in that same college, a group of computer engineering, computer science students developed a mind-controlled robotic arm that could give hope for sufferers of Lou Gehrig disease. The University of Extended Education and International Programs did their share of the heavy lifting in the HIP area by overseeing a 15% increase of our students studying abroad, a proven HIP, and a 40% increase in international student applications. Further, last year alone, over $2 million was spent on faculty engaged in travel to international countries. Not to be outdone on the HIP front, our College of Health and Human Development's Residence Hall theme floor was a success, with 98% retention from fall to spring semester and glowing reviews from all involved. And thanks to a university-wide collaboration led by our students and the Vice President for Student Affairs, our Student Success Initiative was developed, recommended, and approved by students, faculty, staff, myself, and the Chancellor. My pride in this collaborative process that yielded the approval of Student Success Fee is matched only by my excitement of what it means for our campus. This fall, students will begin to see the benefits of the initiative with increased Wi-Fi capability, additional advising staff, and new programs directed right on at student success. In athletics, our dance team won its 13th UDA-UCA Collegiate National Championship, and we hired away a new men's soccer coach. What a year, what a year. Thank you for a fabulous year. Now let's use this opportunity to again align and elevate our goals through the lenses of the strategic plan, its 4 goals, and the following 5 priorities based on our strategic plan that I recently communicated to the Chancellor as our near-term objectives. Priority 1, using the first goal of the university's strategic plan as a springboard, we will develop the university's first ever academic master plan. It will provide answers to fundamental questions driving all the short and long-term visions for the institution. For example, what will we teach? Who will teach it? Who will we teach? How will we teach? How many will we teach? Answer to these questions will guide our enrollment management and provide a basis upon which to establish measurable targets for our tenure track and contingent faculty hires. Moreover, it will revolutionize and guide our expansion of data-driven decision-making, mandate cross-campus collaboration between academic affairs, the Council of Deans, student affairs, our WASP steering committee, and IT. Another facet of this priority and a key factor in the increased partnership between academic affairs, student affairs, and IT is our aspiration to implement the student advising system that integrates academic, career, and personal development elements so that each student develops and tracks progress toward achieving a personal educational plan. We will also establish a baseline to show quantifiable improvement in student participation and satisfaction with academic, career, and personal development advising, as well as awareness and increased awareness about satisfaction with key campus services. Moreover, all departments and programs in student affairs that have a retention services component will be subjected to a rigorous assessment designed to determine the success rate of the various interventions and identify the encouragers and the barriers to degree completion. And finally, the Division of IT will be working collaboratively to provide the latest technologies. For example, Century Classrooms, 21st Century Classrooms, free instructional software, and tech training for students, and as previously mentioned, expanding Wi-Fi coverage. Priority 2, develop a culture of philanthropy through prospect engagement, pipeline development, and fundraising success. Governor Brown's recently signed 2014-15 state budget fell short of the CSU trustees' budget request by $95 million. This, coupled with unprecedented enrollment growth, our inability to accept and enroll CSU Fullerton eligible students, and several years of budget cuts makes the diversification of our revenue streams more critical than ever before. And let me pause here and share with you that we are awaiting our 2014-15 allocation from the Chancellor's Office. The Planning, Resource, and Budget Committee, which we call PRBC, under the leadership of Paul Deland last year, sent me their recommendations for this year. Once we receive our allocation, I will be able to address and provide my decision on their recommendations. Further, I know that we are in the middle of contract negotiations for our personnel. I will share publicly that I, as your president, truly believe that you deserve salary increases after a 7-year freeze for all employees and a 1.34% increase last year. I am both an optimistic and realist. I understand that the increase will not be what it should be. Yet, I am at least content that it appears that there will be increases this year for a campus community that works so hard for the benefit of our students and the university. It is my true hope that the contract negotiations are finalized soon. As you all know, we codified a culture of philanthropy into our strategic plan's 4th goal, with a long-term plan to increase overall philanthropic giving to at least $15 million yearly in order to be in the top 1/3 of our CSU peer group. While we did hit our $15 million mark this past year, sustaining and exceeding it will require us to reach even higher. To that end, among other activities, we will expand our use of technology with new research systems for both annual fund and major program giving. Implement the already developed stewardship program to express greater donor appreciation. Expand our comprehensive annual giving strategy to maintain a pipeline of new donors, and grow our major gift fundraising with a special emphasis on planned giving. We will continue to monitor our progress through quarterly meetings, as well as checking in with the established metrics to constantly review our progress toward the donor and dollar goals. And let me pause again for a minute to remind you that Concert Under the Stars, with the theme this year being jazz, will be taking place on Saturday, September 13th. In my opinion, all of you are the best fundraisers ever. Why? Because you are so passionate about the work you do here. We know that individuals give to winning teams, and then when they hear it from you and from our students, they recognize the authenticity and they recognize the need. Thus, we hope you will join and support this incredible event on the evening of September 13th. Priority 3, improve student persistence and address the achievement gap for underrepresented students through increased cross-cultural divisional collaboration. While we are proud to be #1 in the state and 4th in the nation in awarding bachelor's degrees to Hispanics, as well as 13th in the nation in graduating students of color, our 51% graduation rate and 7% achievement gap is simply not up to our standards. Using our strategic plan's 2nd goal as an overarching guide, this priority aims to engage every division and college of our institution in working together to see great improvements in these numbers. Working alongside and collaboratively with Student Affairs, the Division of Academic Affairs is contributing to this priority by developing a plan to increase student achievement in bottleneck, gateway, and low success rate academic courses. In the Division of Student Affairs alone, we will increase outreach to foster youth, strengthen the number of students in the Guardian Scholars Program, establish a robust cultural center and diversity program that they are appropriately resourced. That's really important, and that it reflects the value our campus places on the diversity of our students, faculty, and staff. And then we're going to reapply for the Seek Camps grant that will provide funding for enrollment of children of low-income student parents at the Children's Center. The final piece to this cross-divisional puzzle comes in the form of administration and finance's goal to enhancing our physical space to support our strategic plan. So in addition to our work with the strategic plan, we are preparing to build out the infrastructure in terms of facilities, paying close attention to our deferred maintenance, optimizing our existing facilities, and fundraising to assist us in this endeavor. I know we all understand that facilities also play an important role related to increasing graduation and persistence rates and to campus climate for all of us. Priority 4, a strong sense of place, physical and temporal, is a resource that must be leveraged on behalf of the communities that define it. At Cal State Fullerton, we aspire to do exactly that through a variety of endeavors that will improve student housing, capital programs, and facilities operations to maximize campus expansion, restoration, beautification, and maintenance opportunities. So the Division of Administration and Finance will be working collaboratively with the campus community to complete an organizational and operational review of the capital programs and facilities operations designed to identify pathways to improve customer service and financial performance. They will also complete the formation of a newly reconfigured resource planning and analysis unit, implement new budget management processes, policies, and methods, develop a funding plan for supplemental financing for deferred maintenance, develop a student housing master plan, implement 12 already identified campus beautification projects, and developing a plan for new parking and transportation buildings. The benefits of all this work is immeasurable, from more efficient utilization and acquisition of resources to the improvement of business processes and administrative infrastructure, all of which will ultimately result in the manifestation of all our short and long-range goals through the purveyance of frictionless, high-impact educational pathways. Priority 5, bolster tenure-track faculty hiring, professional development, and leadership training so as to more effectively align both the skills and diversity of our faculty and staff with our ever-evolving student body, cultural shifts, and the exponential advancement of technology. It is extremely important that our faculty and professional staff is hired, developed, and empowered to leverage their unique skill set for the greatest possible impact on our institution and its students. This begins with the development, centralization, and facilitation of a new and more effective university-wide training, leadership training, faculty staff e-recruitment systems, MPP performance management systems, all of which are being implemented by HRDI over the next 2 years. Further, for our student workers, this same division over the next year will ensure that the opportunities for students on campus positions are of high level, high quality, and real work experience. In addition to these priorities and the faculty hires already announced, this year we are searching for a dean of the College of the Arts, along with associate vice presidents in academic affairs, administration and finance, student affairs, and information technology. In summary, this year we will continue the second year of the implementation of our strategic plan and work towards enhancing our physical space to support our strategic plan. While we have much work before us, this university community has proven that over its 57-year history, much gets done when we set our sights on our collective goals. In closing, I'd like to share an observation I made after Cal State Fullerton recently claimed the top spot in the first ever Forbes magazine My Top College social media campaign. More than 300 institutions participated with some 35,000 tweets and 8,000 posts on Instagram. But when you compare the social media communications from Cal State Fullerton with those from the other institutions, it becomes immediately apparent why we won. From my perspective, it is because the tweets and Instagram posts from our students and alumni articulated the passion that comes from being a truly transformational path to upward mobility grounded in academic excellence. Now, I know that most every university, including Michigan State, Penn State, the UCs, and the many others that participated in the My Top College campaign, use buzzwords and phrases like transformative and path to upward mobility. But in order to determine the authenticity of these claims, both the culture of the region the institution serves and the social and economic background of its students must be considered. For example, the scope of transformation for an underrepresented or first-generation college student from an underfunded school district is far greater than it is for a fifth-generation student who grew up attending elite private K-12 institutions. And when you become a part of an environment that serves and supports students with the potential for these wide-ranging and radical transformations, your passion for it becomes palpable. Any one of you who has ever been to a dinner party where you are asked, "What do you do for a living?" You lighten up and wow the room with the incredible work you're doing at Cal State Fullerton. You know, we know that that's what you do. And now the good people at Forbes magazine knows that too. To illustrate my point, listen to just a few of the tweets articulated by our students and graduates throughout this competition. My top college is CSUF because they have the affordability of state school with the quality education of a private institution. My top college is CSUF because of the diversity on campus and the down-to-earth people. Getting to participate in service learning for Fullerton future teachers my freshman year is why CSUF is my top college. CSUF is my top college because they offer evening classes and it gives us working dads an opportunity to get an education. CSUF is my top college because I take the train from Los Angeles to school along with many other students who come from all over. CSUF is my top college because I am living the dream after graduation. When I read these tweets and the hundreds of others like them, I don't hear students born with a clear-cut path to college. I hear students blazing their own trail. I don't hear students who are taking their time to graduate. I hear students who are taking the train and the bus and working 2 jobs for the honor to graduate. And I don't hear students who have opportunities handed to them. I hear students whose opportunities have come by reaching higher and giving back. But most of all, I hear the kind of passion for university that can come only when a true transformation is occurring, when a path to upward mobility is actually being provided by the work that you all do, and when positive change is evident not just in the lives of our diverse students and alumni, but also in the communities in which they live and where they work. In short, this most recent honor, along with the hundreds of others we received last year, cements our status as a leading change agent in our region and establishes a solid foundation for our aspiration to become that model comprehensive university of the nation, recognized for exceptional programs that prepare our wonderful diverse student body for academic, professional, and social success. I have no doubt we will get there, and I am honored to be working alongside with each of you as your president. Thank you for your service to Cal State Fullerton. Thank you for your commitment to our students. Thank you for choosing to be a Titan. Happy academic new year, and now let's keep reaching higher. Thank you.